So my last video talked about how to aggress on the CT side on B. Now I'm going to talk about how to aggress on A. And I'll start with the simplest, which is peek apps. I mean, super simple. You spot, see if there's anyone on the bridge, and then you spot, see if there's anyone running up. And one thing that I've liked, probably it might have been my favorite thing when I joined this team, but you guys know this flash. It's such a good flash. I love it so much. Just, it's so easy, and it's so annoying as terrorists, because you get out here and you get blind, and then you say, fuck, because there's really nowhere to hide. Like, you can hide way back here, but that leaves you such, like, a full second of time is wasted. And that is really important if you're trying to take apartments fast, because that's the time it takes to get set up for CT. Anyway, so if you're doing that, ask for a flash. Also, it'll probably be good to have someone long hauls if you're doing that. So just have an escape route plan, that's all, in case you get rushed. Because you likely will. If we're playing any kind of an aggressive team, they're likely just going to rush you when they see it. Another thing that I've seen everyone do quite a bit is like throw these mollies and then push down, which I really like. I really like that. Another way that people do is they'll hold this, and then you can just smoke that off and hold this at the beginning of the round. That's if you want to opt like Device, he does that a fair amount. And then he'll have like Dupree. Dupree plays mid with him, doesn't he? And then it's Glaive and Zipnix. Yeah, it's Glaive and Zipnix on B, and Magic's in the pit, obviously. So anyway, Dupree will be holding the walkthrough, because sometimes there can be a gap on a smoke like that. And Device might get one pick and fall back. And, when you get one pick and fall back, defensive teams like Astralis and like us win. Like, we often win even if we have lower numbers, but if we have information. So this way we can at least get information. Like, if we see nobody and that smoke's fading, you're like, all right, I'm booking it over to B, because they are setting up for an execute 100%. Some other utility for mid. That Molotov for Mexi is nice, although it's kind of hard because they can peek behind that Molotov, and that's real annoying. So sometimes you can just throw it deeper, so it'll get them if they try and run out, and then you can just take the aim duel on the Mexico, or you can just have the next guy nade Mexico more directly, and hope that, and if the nade hits them in the Molotov, it'll slow them down. You can get an 80 damage Molotov plus 20 damage nade. You can kill people in the fire. Especially if they don't have armor, and that is always hilarious. So if you have rifles and you're pushing mid, push up like this, and then just underhand jump, throw a flash there, and that'll annoy any opper, and that'll allow you to get, because this angle is so dangerous, because you're already you're peeking ramp, and so you're trying to get around to this guy, you're trying to wrap around to the guy who's holding the car, but you really don't want to deal with an opper back there. But then at the same time, if you smoke it, it sort of gives away what you're doing, and then you can't flank as fast. So a flash high is real. Whoops, that one kind of fucked up. A flash just straight up is real nice, because it won't hit you. It'll only hit the opper, and it doesn't super give away what you're doing. Especially if you just sort of run, then your bullets will give away what you're doing. Because if you just stand here, if you have 3 people, you can hold bottom mid and you can hold alt, but if they find you and you don't get 2 kills, you're dead, unfortunately. Even though it's such a cool spot, you can get some amazing multi-kills from this spot. It's just super risky, but a little bit of utility will really just give you somewhere to go. Because then at least you can get into ramp, or you can get to here and smoke ramp off, and then you can have banana control, and then you're like, all right, they're probably all in the apartments, and then you can wait for them to plant the bomb and retake, that kind of thing. So that's how to take alt mid, and then mid information early in the round. Now, late round, taking apps is actually fairly simple. Like a lot of times, if they've taken apps early in the round, they're going back B. A lot of times they will just leave one guy here. They'll leave him like in a get right spot, like by a boiler, or if it's our team, it'll be JJ up here. If it's like a super passive lurker, it'll just be like a Zipnix guy just holding this at fucking angle that every apps player hates because you think you're gonna get a mag 7 kill, and then you just get sprayed down. Whatever. So you can peek that fairly easily. There's not a lot of utility for it. You just kind of have to, clear your corners, and if you see anyone run, get the fuck out of there because there's likely more. Taking mid is something that I forget who plays mid. It's probably Doobie and Boost and Blink go B. JJ. Doobie and JJ. A lot of times what's been shutting us down is teams throwing this smoke super early and then just running up the porch. And first of all, it's very hard to deal with, especially because they'll drop a couple of flashes right at the top. Like they'll just hurl them from bottom mid, so you really can't do much. So what I want you guys to do is, if you're being isolated, just toss a flash over, and that'll be enough for you to get info. You'll be able to count how many there are, and you'll be able to take one shot. Now, if there's like 3 guys, like you might blind 2 of them, but if they're all spraying, you're probably going to die. But like you can at least get a kill and then a lot of info. So that can be nice. So if you don't have the spawn, you don't need to smoke this off. Like you can save your smoke. And if you want to save your smoke, hurl a flash, peek, and then, I don't know, maybe molly close so they can't rush. You've probably got one more flash. Maybe you hit them with another before dropping your smoke. And that way you've wasted another 20 seconds, which is almost the equivalent of another smoke grenade. And on Inferno, that is huge, having extra smokes, especially around the mid boiler area. So I think that's something we could use.